Arsenal, well, first final since 2006. That is first final in 20 years is what is at stake on Tuesday at the Emirates Stadium. And maybe if we're talking about the Champions League trophy, first trophy ever in the history of the club. So all or nothing. That particular documentary that they did, this is where it's most applicable. It is all or nothing for Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium against Atlético Madrid on Tuesday. So today, as an Arsenal fan, even though you are deceiving us with personal guests, but we know where your heart is. As an Arsenal fan, what should we look forward to seeing from Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium on Tuesday?
Just like we've done in the previous knockout matches we played at home, expect a very good, soft, high frequency football.
Soft, high frequency.
Yes, no.
Please shed more light.
Okay, personally, I believe since we are playing at home this time around and it's going to be the semi-final of the Champions League, we won't be going all out. At the same time, we have to respect our opponent. But we are going to dictate the game. We'll be in charge of the game. We'll be in most of the possession. We'll create more chances and we'll come out victorious in this game.
Okay, well, Alex, how do you think Arsenal should approach this game?
This game, Arsenal need to be more focused this time around, and they don't need to go all out because look at the last.
But they are not advantaged. You know that.
If you look at the
no way go.
Yes, look at the
only advantage they have is that they are playing at home.
Yes, look at the last.
They need to go out and score.
Both of them scored through penalty. No more scoring chances. That was maybe. But this time around, they need to be careful. Atlético Madrid will be coming to Emirates like we are coming here to win. If Arsenal if they are not well composed, focus, it might be another thing for them. And this is an avenue, this is their time. Everybody are expecting Arsenal to win the Champions League, for them to play in the final, no matter what the case may be. They believe if they are playing in the final against Bayern Munich, it will be another advantage for them to win the Champions League. But so far so good. They need to be more focused from the defense line to the midfield to the attackers.
Definitely, defense line, midfield, attackers. All right, let's talk about the personnel now. For Arsenal still, before we go to Atlético Madrid. For the personnel, we saw some changes during the weekend against Fulham, and it gave birth to a really, Arsenal's most comfortable win in over 1 month.
I think this year.
Well, exactly. Maybe even all year, their most comfortable win. So do we expect Arteta to follow those changes, Lusken in the midfield, Calafiori left back, Saka, of course, right, Gyökeres. Do we expect him to follow those changes or go back to status quo?
Yes, definitely. Go back.
So Kambe back,
yes.
Zubimendi back in the midfield.
Yes, Zubimendi back to the midfield, Kambe back to the left back.
Why do you think he should go back to?
Okay, when it comes to Calafiori in Kambe, we all know that most times, even though Ademola Lookman is a very good player playing on the left side of the Atlético Madrid, but the strength of Atlético Madrid usually comes on that right side with Xavi Simeone, Marcos Llorente,
sometimes
Griezmann joining them from the triangle and trying to create something from that side most times. Though the finishing end used to be at the left side, but when it comes to the creator, do you understand? So we need to be very solid at that part of the pitch. And when it comes about being solid, I think our best product is in camp here. If you want to play a team we are going to dominate, a team that does not have very sharp winger and a strong player, I think we can go with Calafiori. Let's not forget that Janssen is also an Argentine and South American player, very strong, very fast, very high jump. So we need someone with similar profile, someone that will be able to face him head on when it comes to the physicality, the speed, the agility and everything. So I think Ikampi is our best at that particular side. And if you are playing with Ikampi over there at times,
so why not Lusken
in the midfield? Though respect to Lewis Kelly for his performance against Fulham, but this time around I still personally feel that we need to still test him more. This is the first time playing in the
maybe
midfield.
test him against Burnley.
Do you understand? This is the first time playing in the midfield for Arsenal. He had a very outstanding performance, but this is the semi-final of the Champions League. Any little mistakes,
You're out.
does he have the mental strength? Even though he proves it last season, he played, I think, in one of the biggest stadiums in Europe at the Santiago Bernabeu. He wasn't pressured. He made no mistakes on that day. But this time around, I think Arteta will be more careful because you're on the semi-final of the Champions League. And let me tell you something. Being a manager, if you use Lewis Kelly, even though Lewis Kelly is an English boy, and anything happens, probably Lewis Kelly made a mistake and something. People will still question them. Why did you use Mendy? So I think Arteta is in a very, very difficult situation right now. But I still prefer him to.
So if we do a mock starting level of Arteta on Tuesday, it's going to be the defense line still Ben White at right back, Ikampi at left back, Gabriel and Saliba, midfield Zubimendi, Rice and Eze. Odegaard.
If Odegaard will be available, I think Odegaard, then Eze
on the left, then Saka on the right, and Bucharest. Alex, let's talk about Atlético Madrid. What lessons do you think Simeone may have learned from that first leg and probably may correct in the second leg?
The only lesson I think there was many of learned is from the error from the defense line. Error from the defense line.
I mean, it almost cost them 2 penalties.
Exactly. So, as a coach, you need to sit your defender down. Let them understand some things. Once your attacker is coming into your neighborhood to score you, you don't need to put yourself on pressure. Once you put yourself on pressure, any little thing in that 18, it might cost you anything. And at the end of the day, if anything happens, it will be on that player, it will be on the coach. As a central defenders, left back, right back, you have to always compose. If you want to remove the ball from the leg of your opponent, the attacker, there's a way you can do this thing with style.
And once he has gotten to a certain position, do not slide.
Exactly. Do not slide. Don't push your hand. Don't do anything. Any little thing before you know it, penalty. And at semi-final stage, from the defense line to the midfield to the attacker, everybody on the field of play have to be very, very careful. If you are not careful, if your mind is not there, you are not composed, you need to be 100% of the game. You'll be the one to decide what you want for yourself.
Do you think he'll change any personnel this time? Last time he removed his son, Giovanni, at halftime. Do you think he will return back to the starting level or maybe change some personnel?
Well, to me, he might choose to change some personnel, some players.
I think maybe Alexander Soloth, practically the best finisher.
Yes, I think
in the team probably comes in.
And this time around, he needs him to come.
Because he needs to score. He's going away.
He needs to score. Ademola Lookman, Griezmann, they can't do it alone. They all need to come together.
The last time he prioritized those who could hold the ball, but this time he needs a scorer. Yes, Julian Alvarez for his prowess is not a poacher.
You see,
what is the essence of playing the team when you can score? At the end of the day, if you score 2 goals, you'll be the winner. You play, you attack, you dribble, you are not scoring. What is it? The person that scored the goal scorer will be the winner. And they will say, Atletico, they've gotten so many scoring chances, they're going to utilize it. It was 2 goals down in favor of us.
What is something?
You see, Diego Simeone has done it before during the Europa League. I think at the semi-final at the Emirates, he had a 1-0 victory, even with 10 against 11. And I think if he's to have a slim chance of getting something out of this game, is for him to play low block and it has not the counter.
And he has fast players that can.
Yes, he has fast players that can do it. So that's why I'll still stick to the Julian Alvarez and co. But I may just I may just stick to probably 3-5-2 formation and not a 3-4-3. Do you understand? So and that was what they did in the second half of that game. And immediately he switched to 3-5-2 in that second half.
Put Alvarez.
Arsenal were a little bit shaky because
I was telling a colleague of mine that particular day, since this game happens to be a set of like second half of the game, Atletico came out with full force.
Because there was a change of formation before we could get out.
So the approach to that game changed. Yes, the approach to that game changed before
Atletico could address the whole thing. We were a little bit shaky. They caught us on and we at some point, but at the end of the last time we were able to also contain
to stabilize the game,
that formation. Right. So I think if it's to get anything out of this game, there is this thing about Arsenal. To in as much as you allow Arsenal to play, will come out. And once we are out, I don't think we have any defender that's as fast as Alvarez and the likes. And we all know how dangerous Griezmann can be with creativity. So I think that would be his best resolve. And let me tell you something, first goal in this match matters a lot because it may end up.
Yes, now escape.
The person that scored the first goal in this game will likely get the ticket to the
final. All right. So if that's the case, I guess our prediction is easy then. Who scores the first goal? Who gets to the final? Alex.
Arsenal 1-0.
Arsenal first goal, Arsenal first final in 20 years. Do I even need to ask you?
If Arsenal is getting the first goal, Arsenal will not stop scoring because we'll panic. And if we have a goal in the first half, we are like to have a second goal, a third goal. So you're looking at demolition. No, not total demolition like that.
Just small.
I'm just talking as putting myself in a task position. I'm telling you, if we score a goal in the first half, you may likely want to score one more goal, two more goals, because the pressure that will be on us between the last 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game by Atlético Madrid will be so massive we may likely concede.
Okay, wow. So your prediction still?
Maybe a 3-1.
3-1 win. Arsenal gets into the final. So the guys have spoken. 1-0 victory for Arsenal, 3-1 victory for Arsenal. If we put everything together, what it means is expect Arsenal in the final of the Champions League for the first time in 20 years.
And we are winning.
Just one more step to winning their first ever Champions League title. I guess we'll find out.
Of Gunners!